Bird. On this episode of We Really Don't Work on Any Cars. Pretty clean. Oh shit. Somebody had already gone into the oil we're gonna do a little bit of work on the MX83 Cressida. All right, I think I do this every time where I haven't worked on a car or actually done a vlog in quite some time, but I actually have been working on cars kind of off and on. A long time ago, I showed you guys that I went and picked up this MX83 Cressida from Danny Ziegler over in Seattle area, and this is it. We'll do kind of a quick walk around. I'll post up a picture of how the car looked when I first bought it. Nothing's really changed except for I sold the wheels. I wasn't too into them. So, pretty straight MX83 Cressida, like a Gen 1, so it's a 1990. It's a full interior car. Grip Royal steering wheel, which I'm gonna switch out to probably my Momo Suede. Right now I just have it on some rollers, some Ultima wheels. It's on BC coilovers, pretty clean. Really don't have any miles on them. Let's open this thing up. Really not too much going on inside here. So I bought this as like a rolling shell. I already kind of cleaned up the engine bay. It's, you know, nothing too special. Camera does a shitty job at picking it up, but it already has braided excessive line. Somebody already did the manual swap on it, and it's all excessive, so excessive clutch pedal, and of course this thing had a badass system or something in it, which I'll put subs and an amp in here just to kind of slump on fools. But here's what I've really been working on. 1JZ VVTi. I've already gone through and done a bunch of work. It got a new rear main on it, valve covers, put on a new timing belt. Luckily, it looks like somebody had already done this timing belt at some point in time. The VVTi O-ring for the VVTi or whatever it's called. I can't remember right now. Clean the front cover up. It's got a new 2JZ front half water pump on it. New front main. I picked up the excessive AC bracket delete. And then also did excessive mounts. And then, like I said, it came with the R154, which made this thing completely worth it. This is gonna be more of like a street car than anything. Probably, you know, have some fun in it. It's a JZ Cressida, so got some work that we need to do on it tonight. We're gonna pound the trans tunnel out, because with the R154 inside of an MX83, you have to pound the trans tunnel for clearancing. So no big deal. Let's do some work. That's why we came out here. And it's cold as fuck. I haven't put my fireplace in yet. It's sitting right there. We're gonna drink some beers. We're gonna pound some tunnels. And the only reason I'm doing this right now is because good dude, shout out Logan Noel. He likes to watch me pound tunnels. He likes to watch me pound anything. So he talked me into getting out here and doing this. So we're gonna do it because I really need to work on cars again. So let's do it. All right, so what I'm doing is, it looks like somebody already pounded out the trans tunnel, which saves me a lot of work. But for me to find out, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the bell housing at where it would mount to the engine block, measure back, put it on a jack it up, and see what kind of clearance I have. I'm gonna try to get it to where the shifter housing is only about an inch or two below the shifter hole itself inside the interior. I'm gonna struggle for a second getting this up onto the jack, but from there I should be able to jack it up, see what kind of clearance I have. This is why I need more friends that work on cars. So we gotta figure out how far that bell housing needs to come forward. So it's not sitting in too bad of a spot. You see the firewall up here and the bell housing. So see if we're centered. We're kind of centered. Probably could rotate a little bit too. Let's see how we look inside the car. Ooh, pretty far away. We could throw the trans mount, the Crossmember on. I'm looking for my beer right now. All right, I found it. We could throw the Crossmember on. I don't think I have the hardware for it. I can go through my drawer bolts and stuff and figure out what I can go to Ace and get what we need. Luckily, Cressidas are pretty nice. I'll show you this. Most Cressidas have multiple mounting holes. If you didn't already know that, most Cressida people obviously do. So you can kind of put the trans Crossmember any spot that you want. The other good thing about this trans Crossmember is it kind of wings forward. So that means that the transmission can sit a little bit further back and still have the whole line up. Or run the other direction. So let's see how this will go. That's pretty much as far back as we could go. Kind of hard to see with my phone being an idiot, but we have a little bit that we can go back. But what I'm thinking is, if you look to see how high the actual transmission comes up, obviously it's not 100% the right way, but it comes up pretty damn high. The shifter is pretty tall itself. So that's the whole shifter piece. So we have about a little over 2-inch height for the shifter housing. 2-inch height would bring us past this right here. So we might be able to drop it down a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and say that somebody has already pounded out this trans tunnel. And to that, we'll drink. All right, there's the excessive trans Crossmember. I just got 2 of them in there. I at least can figure out the thread pitch and the height that I need. And it mounts pretty far forward, which is good. Should give me a little bit more room for my shifter housing. Usually, or I shouldn't say usually, this is from, I believe, a Mark III Supra with a 7M GTE behind it. So most or some of these come with extensions that kind of sit out. Then they have an extension back here. Well, I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. Mine does not. So I might have to do a little clearancing inside. But we're gonna switch gears because that's pretty much done. So this is the next project I'm gonna do real quick. I have this Tanabe downpipe that has some like random Megan exhaust welded on with some, looks like mandrel bent tubing in between, exhaust tubing. We're gonna unbolt this, and I saturated the crap out of it because it's rusted to hell. We're gonna see if we can get this downpipe bolted to my turbo. But there's like one company from like Australia or something that makes downpipes for these VVTIs. Everything else is made for non-VVTIs, which sucks because there's more VVTIs than there is non-VVTIs, and the VVTIs are much cheaper too. Alright, let's take this piece of shit and see what we're looking at. Here's the hoping. Alright, so it's not at all gonna work. I mean, I didn't think it was going to, but it's pretty far off. So what I'm thinking is that we can cut that flange off, and we can maybe make it work for in here. The only thing I'm wondering is if that bend is gonna hurt or harm me, but all right, so we're gonna call it a night. I know we didn't do love stick to your guns. Kind of my goal here, and my goal has always been to at least get out to the shop and do 15 minutes of work. And you're probably saying that that's not much time to really do anything, but the whole point is that if you get out to your shop and you tell yourself that you're gonna do 15 minutes, or at least gonna get one thing done, whether it's put a bolt or a nut on or mount something up, the whole thing is that once you get started, it kind of gets your motivation to keep going. I need to take a drill, and I need to drill the holes out on the bell housing on the two-tone, because the sandwich plate inside between the block and the bell housing on the transmission is skewed a little bit. And I don't know if that's because I used a dual cam transmission on a single cam. I actually don't know what it is. After that, there's really not much more. I need to find another trans crossmember, hook the radiator up, probably put AC back in the car, because that car with AC would be pretty killer. And then from there going SR would be pretty easy. So I still have some more stuff in the shop that I need to build. I really need to buy some tools. I have some cool things that I'd like to be doing in here and just don't have the tools or the time to do them. My new work schedule is kind of crazy, so I don't know how often I'll be able to put out these videos, but stick around. It'll be a cool JZ build. If nothing else, we'll do cool burnouts. I'm trying not to part cars out anymore. As you can tell, I've held on to the two-tone for this long, so let's see how far we can go. Alright, sorry it took so long for another video, but keep watching, and let's have some fun.